So where'd you get the inspiration for this at, first of all?
Yeah, I think it's like October-ish, and maybe early November. And I was like, no, yeah, it was October, because I was thinking like, I think it was like the beginning of October. And I thought, oh, it'd be cool if we could do like a Halloween map, right? And put it into the, do like a giant spider or something cool, whatever. But then I realized like, it's probably too late for that. By the time I get it done, that it only gives them a couple weeks. And that's even if they want to do it, So then I was like, all right, well, what about Christmas? Like, I was like, dude, it'd be awesome to bring snow back to the map.
So I want to ask you, I want to interrupt real quick just right now, because aaskclown told me last week that basically you and him kind of decided, hey, let's each submit a map and kind of force, I use force in quotes, them to change the map for the holidays. Is that accurate?
100%. 100%. That was the goal. It was like, all right, let's see if we can get, kind of almost force their hand and, see the result. I mean, I don't know. If it worked, it worked. I'm glad it did.
Well, I mean, so let's just be honest. Like, a lot of people, like, the game got stale there for a while. There wasn't a lot of changes at all.
Dude,
so I think people were clamoring for it. So, I mean, I don't know if you took a look at, well, you said you just jumped on, so you haven't seen it yet. But, like, my friends list right now tonight is like, that's the most I've seen on in quite a while. And some OG names that you haven't seen in this game for a while. And it's streamers that you've seen playing other games. They just got kind of stale and bored with Pop. They were playing other stuff. They're in here playing tonight. So I think, just a simple thing like bringing snow back on the map is a good thing. It brought some people back. So the cool thing about the one thing, so me and my daughter and my wife came in here and played and explored a little bit earlier. We didn't get to do, but we loved the elves,
So those elves are over a year old. Made those. I was gonna make a TDM like kind of Santa's workshop sort of thing with elves, and I just never did it. Whatever, and for whatever reason. So then when it was, I thought like, I'm gonna make something for Christmas. I was like, well, I got the elves. Let's see if I can use those. So they're pretty basic elves, but they're a year old. So that's that was a long time ago. But they're awesome. Yeah, it was cool. Like I think the ice skating rink was the first part I made of this.
So that's what I don't know if you saw. Well, we played one game before the stream started, so you probably didn't see that. But so when we first played this, like it, from the air, because we were over cemetery, this looks like a racetrack from afar. And then when you get up to it, you're like, oh, it's a skating rink. That makes a lot of sense. It's cool. And like the gumdrops, my daughter loved the gumdrop stuff. So cowbell, this is like his skin. So if you see this skin in the game, it's basically, you can guess it's like one of two people. It's either Zoloto or it's Morecowbell. Like it's one of those two people.
Like once a month, I'll see this skin on somebody else. I'm like, all right, gotta kill that test. I gotta get him.
So how long? So you started building this map when then? In October? Okay, and how long? How long did it take you?
Like 2 weeks probably.
I
miss by early November it was done and submitted.
Like, you have any idea like how many hours you put into it?
I'd guess 20 to 30 maybe. So, if you play for 2 hours a night, I was building for 2 hours.
Right. I mean, that stuff blows my mind away because there's no. I mean, it would take me 20 hours to even think up the makeup of this. So, aaskclown, when I talked to him last week about Ironworks, he said he spent like a whole week just studying like iron mills, like on the web, just to figure out like what he wanted to do. So did you do anything like that for this? Or, I mean, how do you dream of this all up in your head?
This one I didn't do too much. Like Sawmill, I actually did do a little bit of research, like what some sawmills look like, I've never been in one. It's funny, like actually the Sawmill, when I first got it or made it, I can't remember who it was that came in there. They're like, whoa, dude, like they didn't go inside or anything, like, whoa, a Sawmill. And I'm like, how'd you know that? He goes, oh, dude, I work at one, man. Like, I've worked at a couple or something up in Oregon or something. I'm like, what? It was like, oh, dude, like, okay, I nailed it. Because, like, if this dude, like, knows sawmills, but he said it's a sawmill, I'm like, that's perfect. That's all I could ever dream of. So, nice. No, I didn't really do too much. Like I said, I started with the elves. That was it. And I was like, okay, well, what kind of world could I build for them? And I, thought of the ice skating rink. Like, all right, make them have some fun stuff. And then just thought of buildings. And some buildings I made, some are, obviously Viking things. What's funny is those are not supposed to be orange. Like any orange rooftop here is supposed to be red.
Oh, really?
For whatever reason, getting ported over, it didn't work. Yeah.
Could Big Box have changed that because of the red roofs that they added for Kingdom? Because now I've already heard from one person tonight saying, and what did they change? Because it says in the description, New Kingdom, and they're like, they didn't change anything, and I'm like, well, the roofs are different color, and they're like, no way. Like people don't realize like what color was it before. Like they don't pay attention to what color it was. They're just like, hey,
Sure.
the buildings are the same. There's no, but I think the red really pops with the white snow and stuff like that.
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
So the other thing I was going to bring up too is, we spent maybe 5 minutes searching for the cowbell. I know exactly where it's at. If you don't know Morecowbell's map, he hides a cowbell in every single one of them. And if you watch my shoutcast, anytime I would get close to the one in Sawmill, I would go look at it. But I know where it's at here. We're very close to it, but I'm not going to give it away because I don't want to spoil it for anybody. Now, is there more than one? It's only one, right? Is there any maps where you have more than one cowbell on?
Cannonball, the one where you shoot out of a
oh yeah,
ship out of the cannon. That one's got more because there's a table full of them.
Right.
Yeah, where they sell stuff, So I have wheels and lamps, and I have cowbells on there.
So are the snowmen on? Was that part of this, or is that something that Big Box added? Because I've seen they have snowmen all over this map. Like they put snowmen all over the place.
The assets, and
okay.
I put it in there. I mean, I used it they didn't add it.
Okay.
I had it on the map, but
if you go to Kingdom, there's one of these like behind all those little like tents. There's one of these like behind every single one of them. There's snowmen like all over the place. I think there's one on each windmill. And yeah, I was surprised with how many snowmen there are on the map.
That's cool. That's good. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I like when I was building this. Part of what I wanted to do is like from everywhere you looked, like whatever direction you were coming from, if you're coming from observatory or from SEM, I tried to make it look, holiday spirit from every angle. Like presents are, able to be seen, or candy canes, or something has to be seen from everywhere. So you just get that feeling right away, like, oh yeah, here's the holiday stuff. Because I didn't know that they were going to do the snow stuff everywhere, right?
Right.
I thought like this. There's a chance that if this did make it, that there's a chance that it could be the only snow part of the map.
Right.
So I was like, I want people to feel that right away, and yeah. So I don't know, just put those presents and snowman everywhere.
That's awesome. And the candy canes, that's cool. Like one of the channels that always pops up on my TikTok is this candy company in California, where he just makes the candy canes. Right, it shows him pulling the stuff on this hook, to make the sugar white. Basically, that's the base part of the candy cane. That's where the flavor goes, and then the colors are wrapped into it, and it's kind of interesting. But is there any new textures? Any new textures or anything like that you used in this one? Or no?
Nah, there's nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, they haven't updated textures in Sandbox in about close to a year. It's been a long time.
Oh, really?
Year, but at least 6 to 9 months. It's been a long time. Yeah.
Okay.
That was only like a handful. Did you guys go in the cave?
That's one thing about this that I kind of like is so there's so many little hiding spots in Nook and Cranny, like especially over here, a lot of hiding spots, like right down under here. Boom.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, really when I was building this, the whole thing I was thinking about is like, okay, final zone. How do you make it? What would be the coolest for final zone? Because I loved final zones in Sawmill. But I was like, I want to have that same sort of thing, like no open areas, things like that. Like kind of make it. And that's why I was kind of nervous. Like, did I get a little too complex? Like, because for a final zone, it was fine because you got tons of places to hide. But like for beginnings of maps, like are people gonna camp? What I don't who knows. But.
Well, I think anytime you can bring that vertical aspect to the final zone, where people can be literally on top of one another. That's because that's the crazy ones that end up in Metro. You could have 3 teams before it shrinks to the dot, like that little square before it shrinks to the dot, and you could have 3 teams just stacked on a building there, and it really just comes down to one: either does someone have a zone grenade, or 2, who has the most bananas at that point, really.
yeah. Everyone pot throws down their bananas and let one guy eat them.
Yeah.
So that stuff's great. I love that.
But the caves in here, yeah. So I'll tell you this: like it was something that I wasn't expecting to like find on a map like this. So it was right like back in here.
Yeah, no, I mean it's never been done, right? I mean,
yeah,
it's there's no underground stuff happens in Pop 1. This is interesting. Did I? I don't. Oh wow! I don't remember that I left this open. I have to go look at my map. I don't know that this was always open like this under here. If they did this, that's great. That's a great idea. No, they had to have done this. I don't think I did.
Well, otherwise it'd be a death trap, right? If you got chased back here, there's no way out.
Yeah, because I feel like this was a wall right here. Like this whole thing was just a wall, and then you had the two entrances and the ladder. I love the lighting in here though. They did. God, it's awesome. Love the lighting. But I wanted to do more icicles, like how like these are on the edge. I wanted to do like a ton of them, but they're not budget friendly at all. Like when making for the evolving map, you don't know how much they can put on. Like you don't know like what their tolerance is before it starts messing up. So like, I think all the maps that I've made for evolving are like 30% budget. Like I don't go close to maxing it out.
Yeah, because there's no way it's gonna make it on the evolving map, right?
Yeah.
Or at least not with a bunch of changes. Not without a bunch of changes.
Yeah, they'll strip it down to its bare minimum.
Hey, the other thing I was gonna ask you. So one time I talked to you, you were like, I think it was like the first month when Sawmill was on, but like 2 of those 4 weeks, I think, were like, it was a Metro only mode. So I was asking you, hey, did you feel screwed that your map isn't getting the attention that the other ones did on the main map? And then look at you had your map on there way longer than anybody else.
Lasts for like 5-6 months.
I think the Sawmill basically got to the point where like people like, it just became that was the evolving map, right? People got used to it.
You're right. I mean, if you think about like people that bought the game in the last 6 months, they knew nothing else. That was it.
Sawmill is one of my favorite places to drop, like in mixed doubles or whatever. You can loot up fast, get out. Like anytime I drop there, I would always drop in that upper part, in the building. You just grab all that loot quick, and then you could drop right down. Yep.
Partly, so I had the level inside of there done. Like I had like that little upper level. I didn't have doorway. And if Arms Reach ever watches this, he's like, dude, you should put dormers on the roof. And I was like, I don't know what a dormer is.
Yeah.
like door things, but like they kind of like go on the roof. I had to Google it. I was like, dude, yes. I'm like, I'm totally putting dormers on it. So it makes it great having that access from the roof on there. And I love it.
Yeah, and I mean, I see a lot of similarity for the short time I got to play Ironworks, where AskClown kind of had the same type of entrances up high in the building. He has some down low too, but I like that. So you can have, it gives you one, if you get ambushed, you got an escape route right away, but also it allows you to just get in and start looting up right away. To me, I think that makes it a better it makes it good for hot drops. If you can hot drop there, then and get looted up fast. Like I was actually hoping that hey, they were just gonna say, hey, we love Sawmill so much, we're just gonna keep that it's become a permanent part of the map. The next sandbox area is gonna be like Dead River or I don't know, Armory or something. Like we're gonna start changing another area of the map. That's what I was hoping they were gonna say. But
that would have been so cool. Yeah, that would have been so cool.
Yep. I think it just fit on the map so good. Like it was so good. And that's not to take away from what the other creators before had, but I mean the jungle one was that was a bowl of death. I mean, if you got caught in there and people were on both sides of you, there was no way out. Let's just I'm just being honest. Yeah. And then the one before that, the building was so high. It was almost
big stretched out building,
Yep. Yours was just like a good balance between the two, I thought.
Mine was the first one that was ever built
specifically for the evolving. Yep.
Yeah, because those first two were TDM maps that they brought in, because that was just how they wanted to start it off. They didn't have any submissions yet. So yeah, when I was building it, I was like, dude, I want to incorporate as many Pop 1 sort of themes. Like the outside buildings, those are very similar to like Frontier buildings, like where the barn or farmland. Where they have the barns, and then they have the 2 levels on top that you can climb up the ladders and get to the, grab the loot up on the little walkways and the barn doors or whatever.
Sure.
Or inside the barn. So I copied things like that. Like, all right, if they're going to pick something, I want, to take my chances with doing the things that they already like doing.
Now, is this map is it its own TDM map in like the holiday rotation on Deathmatch at all, or no? Because I haven't been in there yet.
This is never published. No,
okay.
Never published.
Never published. Gotcha.
I should. I probably should, but. Yeah.
Well, that's what surprised me about Askclown is like, I mean, when he told me that the Ironworks one had been out for like 9 months, like, I kind of felt like, hey, tell me you don't play deathmatch without telling me you don't play deathmatch. But at the same time, like when I go in there, I usually play either the featured, or not the featured, but the Master Builder playlist or the Discovery one, and I've just never like it never popped up there. I'd never seen it.
Yeah, I mean right now, maps get buried.
What so the one thing I thought was unique was this the round building over here. Like it's different than all the rest of them, right?
Yeah. What? Actually, where I got the inspiration for that, this feels taller. Was the building that's up above? Oh, there's a couple of them in SEM, but the one like there was kind of.
Oh, the rotundas. Yeah.
Yep. So a similar sort of thing, and I was like, okay, well, I got to figure out a way to climb up it. So I put the two beams on the side or whatever, the supports.
Yeah.
But then I thought, you're right though. I just needed because this is actually the last building I made, and I was like, I gotta make something different because everything's squared, everything's kind of,
Right. Yeah. Well, that's exactly what I told Whiskey earlier today. I'm like, this one building doesn't really match what's going on here. So I didn't know if there was some significance to it as far as what you're doing. And then but the one thing I think is interesting there is like you have to think of like the playability of it too. Like I'm not a builder, so that's all foreign to me, but so you actually have to think of, hey, I got to put a column on each side so people can climb up it. Like I wouldn't even think of that.
That's everything. That's everything I think about is it's all about that stuff. 100%. Yeah, like I sit there even thinking about like that big present over here in between these two walls. I was thinking like, all right, how big do I make the present? Like I want to make it big enough, just tall enough so if you were stuck here, you got a little bit of cover, but not too big where it looks stupid. Like, everything. You think about all that, overthinking it all.
And if people don't know, this guy is the builder of my favorite map. And again, I'm not kissing your ass here either. My favorite map I've said for a long time is Inception. So he's the creator of that one. And I mean, it's like that's a love or hate one. People either love it or hate it. I think there's not really anybody who's in between on that one. But like anytime that one comes up, I'm and I'm in TDM, I'm always voting for it. So I still, I mean, how long has that one been out? It's been out
since beta. Yeah, that was a beta map.
Yeah. And I still love playing it. I still love it.
It's I was curious when they put this in if they'd put I had a jump pad. And I kind of jump pad right here, and it was perfectly figured out to where you'd hit it and just go pew right up the stairs.
Right up. Really?
To the top. It was really cool. But then I thought, but the problem is in the main map, like if you hit it the opposite way, you want to go here, you could jump all the way up to that mountain,
Yeah.
So I was like, maybe they won't keep it, and they didn't.
Is that are jump pads are those not budget friendly?
No, they're expensive.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I've heard. Because that's always the thing. Is like I've heard it. People. That's a common thing. Is why can't they put jump pads everywhere on the map? And I guess that's probably the reason, right?
Yeah, I would think so. Part of it. And I think they could probably add a few though. I think they'd be all right with a couple.
I mean, for movement, just if they spread them out a little bit more, I think it'd be cool. Like it's it's a cool way to get around.
Yeah,
and then this building obviously up here was a little bit different as well.
Yeah, and I almost wish I would have made it bigger. I debated that one because like my first initial thought was like, oh, this will be the toy factory,
Okay. Yep.
And I don't know. I just never expanded it as much as maybe I should have done it bigger. I don't know. I have no idea.
No, I think it looks good. The village is in Plains. You can tell that there's definitely one building that's the quote unquote Santa's workshop, thing. But I don't know how different that map is. Before it's been 2 years since they've had this. So the last time they had the village, it was in between Kingdom and Armory. They had it just tucked right in between there. I mean, they had a couple buildings elsewhere, but it wasn't a whole village in the middle of the Plains. Whiskey Girl, has never seen any of this stuff. She just started playing a year ago, so she'd never seen anything like this. So when she saw all the maps in Plains and stuff, that was the first thing she said. She's like, why can't they just have like regular, like, some type of, just like farmhouses or whatever, some type of buildings here, when it's not snow, because there's a lot more, you know.
Yeah, yeah. It sounded like you guys are having fun. I think one game you guys are in there, and you're like, "This is great." I think it was you guys. Like this is great having buildings here. Like,
Yeah.
it changes the dynamic.
Yeah, I mean, you know, there's not a lot of people probably left that remember the old plains where there was nothing there. I mean, if you were on the other side, if you were in farm and you had to get to observatory, you know, zone shrink, and you had to go through plains, you just basically wrote the game off. You knew you were screwed because plains was plains. But
yeah, I don't even think I was around. I got the game like 2 weeks before Frontier was built.
oh, okay, yeah. So that would have been even before that. Yep.
Yeah.
No, I like it, man. I like I like all the, like I said, the elves are cool. My daughter just loved those, of course. You know.
Oh,
I like.
It turned into snow. This is green. That's wild.
Was it snow? It was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Huh.
Wild. That sticks out. Yeah, this I tried to emulate Gunshot, right? And go to gun store.
Right. Yep. Because that's what I thought when I was in here earlier. I'm like, if there's any place where there might be a better chance to spawn like gold weapons or anything, I was like, this is probably it. But
yeah, I would think so.
I don't know if they do that on this. You know.
Still some up here too. All right.
Yep.
Yeah. Huh.
But we didn't in I don't know, in the handful of games I played here today, did not have an end zone close to ending up here, unfortunately. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Me too. This was the first building I built in the whole thing after the skating rink, but the first building.
Well, see, and that's the other thing is the chimneys. Like the chimneys climbable up and down. Like you know, whiskey hasn't seen that. You know, like
when I was, that was all I wanted to do. Like when I was like, I was like, I gotta bring that back because like that was my whole purpose of everything. Like I said, it was like I want to bring back the snow stuff, and I was like, dude, we had those chimneys; those things were so awesome.
Right.
Doing it again.
Yep.
So, do those buildings over in Plains or whatever, like the little other village, does that have?
Yep. It's like they had before. Yeah, it has the chimneys there, but they also have more like skylight windows in the roof and stuff. So I mean, you know, before it was kind of like the chimney might have been the only way in or out, you know, from the top anyway.
It was, yeah.
But now there's like skylights all over the place on most of them, so you can get in from multiple angles.
Some of the stuff I was thinking, like, all right, like I need to make like, because I had like these walkways. And I was like, all right, I got to make bigger things out here. Like they were smaller. I'm gonna want to put loot on this stuff.
Yeah.
I wish there was more loot though. It's not that much loot. I'll be honest.
Well, see, and that's what I was kind of wondering. You know, that was the first like question like Rad Fox asked me when the Ironworks building dropped out. She's like, "Do you think there's more loot in Ironworks than Sawmill, or is, you know?" And I'm like, you know, honestly, I think it's the same. It's just Ironworks, the building is bigger, so I think it's spread out more. Now here, you know, again, the footprint is more spread out, you know, because it's going all the way out to the buildings. I would be interested to know, like, is the loot amount the same, or is it lower? Because I'm with you, it feels lower, but is it just because it's spread out more? I don't know.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
But that goes back to why I like Sawmill so much, is because you had such a good amount of loot packed into that building. You could get in, get out, and you're ready to go. Yep.
Yeah, it's always nice, like if you died like in observatory or something like that, and you had one guy left, like, all right, fall back to Sawmill, regroup, and you did. It was quick, like revived, filled, you know, had all your stuff filled up again. Like,
yeah, it wasn't like you just died. You already have like 3 backpacks and full health, full shield. Yeah, you got everything you need.
Big part of it.
It's like Metro. It was like a mini Metro basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's why people like, you know, the stuff in Metro too. So.
Oh, look at this gun over here. You see this gun? There's a gun hanging off the.
Oh wow, there is, isn't there? So that was the other thing we noticed. So if you come back here, like the O in Happy Holidays is like darker. Why is that?
Yeah.
Is that just
they're lighting, the way they light stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, all the shading is there. Like
there's no purpose to it or anything. It's just that's just the way it is.
Yeah, no purpose, no special like 0 for 1 or something like that.
No, Whiskey was like, oh, it's probably supposed to be a wreath, and I'm like, well, it's not green, so I don't think it's a wreath, but
yeah, no, just a weird shading thing. It's kind of like when we first got in here, I saw a weird shading thing. I saw like Where was it? Where did we first come in from? I don't know, but I saw like some pink or something on. Cause they have weird like if you look around, even on the rest of the map, you'll see weird shading stuff happen all over. Like you'll see weird colors, like when they're doing their stuff. It's really weird. Where was that? I don't know. Huh. Yeah, I'll be excited to see how this plays.